Yes. The second aspect, sit down. The second aspect I want to look into that is being soiled in the holies of holies is against prophets and pastors. Those days, children don't only pay school fees, they also pay attention. But this day, it is teacher that should pay attention for what the student have to say. You can't learn like that, sir. Stop destroying churches if you are one of them. That is one of the things I discover in the holies of holies that have also been soiled. Stop destroying churches. Stop destroying pastors. If a man of God looks at you and say Pastor Eddie Bello is a fool, so walk away from there, because that man that just insulted me is my brother. You are the one that will fall victim because you don't know the covenant that may be keeping me and that person. It's not your concern to defend. Am I talking to you now? Even if you will defend, shout and tell him he is not a fool, but don't help me tell him he's a fool back. You have just erred against the anointing. Don't insult him back. Tell him, no, I disagree, he is not. But don't tell him that you be fool. No, don't do that. We live in a world where a lot of people do not understand how these things work. One person can't do the work. There is a reason why somebody will be comfortable under Bishop David Oyedepo and the person will not be comfortable in Mountain of Fire. You know why? That person has been sent to Bishop David and not Dr. Dike Olukoya. That the one that is sent to Dr. Dike Olukoya will keep being there no matter what, because that is a place of assessment that the person actually has. There is something you don't know about pastors. If you know this about pastors, then you will stop the war, you will stop the fight. And one thing I want you to know is that God is too big. One person can't preach him alone. That's why he called other pastors. For example, when every man of God is coming up, there's something we call obvious character after they have grown. If you look at David Oyedepo today, David Oyedepo is a word of faith preacher, and the person that was a word of faith preacher before him was Bishop Bensi in the house. So it's a continuation of Bishop. Am I talking to you now? Of course, yes, that's different. If you see Oyedepo, you see faith. What if you look at Adeboye? One thing that is obvious about Adeboye is his humility. He's very calm, he's slow to anger. His humility you see when you see Adeboye, that's different. If you look at Apostle Joseph Suleiman, the only thing you see is warfare. Am I talking to you now? Because even if you don't know where God called that guy to serve, if you look at him spiritually, he has 5-star here, he has 5-star here. He's a general, and some generals are not calm. So he's got into the warfare part of the ministry. Am I talking to you now? If you look at senior prophet TB Joshua, he's got into the love part of the ministry. Am I talking to you now? Is God love? Yes, God is love. Senior prophet TB Joshua. Is God humility? Yes, God is humility. That the Adeboye. Is God faith? Yes, God is faith. Bishop David Oyedepo. Is God a God of war? He's a God of war. Apostle Joseph Suleiman. The reason why God share his grace upon all of them, no one person can complete a full God. That's why he called them differently, so that in him, all of them can complete him in him. Am I talking to you now? Stop destroying them because you don't know who called them. Stop destroying them because you don't know who have covenanted them. Stop destroying them because you don't know the God that gave them assignment. If you don't love one, it's because you are not called to love that one. Follow your own and keep quiet about the rest. Don't kill church, I beg you. There was something Papa Adebo you said concerning TB Joshua. I won't say it here. I have to explain. I'm not a carrier of bad news. Said concerning him, and I restricted myself. Somebody knew I love TB Joshua so much, and the person called me. He said, how you really see this matter? My brother, I get sense once as the person mentioned that the EA name. How you really see this matter? I said, waiting. Say how? I said, generals are talking. Who is a fly to comment? Who is a fly when generals are talking? Who gave you that right? It was people that sustained this Christianity, died for this kingdom before it reached your hand. Stop destroying fathers. If your pastor is not like me, it's because I am not him. Finish. How will God bring you into salvation? A place clean, without spot nor wrinkle. Then by bad character and attitude, in all these things, he's not regretting. Men of God that believes and members that believes that when a man is a prophet, at the end of the day, his church is supposed to be big because he's a prophet. Sir, you are wrong. The biggest church in Nigeria is not owned by a prophet. If you are a teacher, stay there. If you do well, God will bless you. If you are a pastor, stay there. If you do well, God will bless you. If you are a prophet, remain a prophet. If you do well, God will bless you. If the prophetic is the one that decides church, maybe the church of winners or like winners will not have been either the second biggest or the biggest in Nigeria today. But he's a prophet, but it's not like a prophet that will call your name, do this one. No, and yet look at the grace working upon him. You know why? He stayed in his call. He stayed in his call. This kingdom is being divided by my pastor brothers that left their call and be putting mouth in people's matter. That's the truth. You come and say miracle money doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. How can a vigilante stand and be looking at a place where soldiers are training? You can't be found there. So you were not there. Don't defend what you were not. People are called differently, sir. Differently. That's what we would have also said if we saw Jesus. In the place we read in the book of Mark chapter 8 at the all night, he spat on somebody's face. We would have said it's fake. How will he spit on somebody's face? Is that what Moses said? But because the Bible was already prepared before we came, we can't argue it. That the ones that has been displayed in our era, we call them fake. Who would have said that somebody like Moses that met God in a secret place, only him, no other person was there to bear witness, and God said pick up your rod. He picked it up, cast it to the floor, and it became a living serpent. You have did want to condemn him on social media and said he's fake, he never met God. Sir, you went meet God for mountain, and the other person went meet God for himself farm. Not be the same. Just do what he send you. Remove your mouth for another person matter, sir. Man of God, please respect fathers, I warn you.